Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Gold Fleece Fantasy. This is my first YouTube video. My name is Austin, and on this channel, we'll be talking about fantasy football, NFL news. It's going to be mostly fantasy football, and then I'm going to throw in some sports betting here and there because who doesn't like to throw in a couple anytime touchdowns for the boys? Let's get right into this today. We're going to be covering the Baltimore Ravens backfield and their overview, their outlook on the 2023 fantasy season. J.K. Dobbins. Let's just get right into this. J.K. Dobbins, he is a very versatile running back. Great back. He had a decent season last year through 8 games, 520 yards on 92 carries, averaged about 5.7 yards a carry. Obviously, he had that ACL injury, so did Gus Edwards. It was a crazy year for the running backs in Baltimore, to say the least. Like I said, he played 8 games last year, so we don't have a great sample size of what we can expect this year. He did look really good towards the end. A little rusty coming in. Obviously, he said he wasn't 100%, wasn't ready, but he's looking really good. Rushing touchdowns, not great. He had 1 receiving touchdown also. Current average draft position is 74.5, so you're looking at about the 7th round, going into the 8th. I mean, I think that's great value. I think people are just sleeping on him just because of the contract issue, and if he doesn't sign, then people are like, obviously he's going to miss out on a couple games. I think he's going to sign. I mean, I think he's just pressed to get that contract because he had that injury, and obviously you want to get the bag in case you get injured again. He just, it's smart. It's good business. That's what you got to do in the NFL. You got to get your money while you can. It's just like anything else. Some running backs going around him are Miles Sanders, Dameon Pierce, Cam Akers, and Alexander Madison, Pacheco, Swift, Dalvin Cook. Obviously, Alexander Madison at this point is going way ahead of him. I mean, you should be high on Alexander Madison this year, but that's for a different video. Running backs I'm comparing Dobbins to is Miles Sanders. 2 guys that can do the same thing. They're good in the ground, but they're also great on third down receiving. But the upside we have for Dobbins is the Ravens' offense is high-powered. They're going to be in the red zone a lot this year. I expect really good things for the Ravens. This is a potential Super Bowl team, and you should expect a lot of touchdowns. So, are they going to go through Lamar? Are they going to go through Dobbins, Gus Edwards? Obviously, Mark Andrews eats up a lot of these. You don't know. And, touchdowns is a big thing for running backs in fantasy. That's a crucial part of something you look at when you're drafting. It's just hard, guys. If you're drafting early, like if you're drafting this month in July, I think I would try to pass on Dobbins and go for a guy like Pacheco, even DeAndre Swift, even though I'm not super high on him either. But, I mean, if you're going to the 8th round and you need a running back, Dobbins is a great pick. I'm surprised he's really even going this late. That's crazy to me, considering how versatile he is. But, you've seen the injuries. You've seen him have bad games. You've seen Lamar dominate on the ground. I can understand why people are low. More pass-catching opportunities this year in this offense without Greg Roman. New OC, I believe he's from Georgia. Todd Monken, I think. They already established they're really going to ease back on the rushing attempts. They're going to ease back on those. They're going to make Lamar throw the ball more, which is supposed to lead to more success, they think. Can't stack the box as much, more, unpredictable. What can you expect with that? You should be seeing a lot more receptions for J.K. Dobbins, which leads me to believe that his ground usage could be limited. Just knowing his previous injury history, especially if they're going to put him on this big contract, you would think they're going to preserve him for, at least, easing back into things, having that history of the ACL tear. When you have a running back behind him like Gus Edwards that you can kind of just keep throwing constantly at the ground, you probably want to use Gus Edwards as much as you can and burn up his legs. So that's why I'm kind of high on Gus Edwards. And, I say this, he's going to be going at the end of your draft right now. That's where he's valued. He might have a little more juice just considering Dobbins hasn't signed yet. But regardless, Gus Edwards is worth a draft pick at the end of your draft. Quickly, let's cover Lamar Jackson before I get to the juice and Gus Edwards. Lamar Jackson had 112 rushing attempts last year. He played 12 games. Obviously, he got hurt too. This Ravens had the injury bug. He had 764 yards, averaging 6.8 yards per carry, 3 rushing touchdowns. This should go down drastically, but you don't know. If the passing doesn't go as planned, they're going to go with what works, and that's Lamar running the ball on the ground. Okay, that's where the bread and butter of this team was for a while. Lamar just being Lamar and doing what he feels comfortable at the right time. Lamar's been proven he can do both. He can throw the ball, he can run the ball. But all things considered of what we said with the new offensive coordinator and everything the Ravens have said, Lamar Jackson should be seeing a lot less rushing attempts. Now let's get into Gus Edwards, because I think this is mainly what this video is for. Gus Edwards should be drafted on your fantasy team this year. If Dobbins gets hurt, Gus Edwards is automatically an RB2 for me with RB1 upside. I know he's not a pass catcher. You're probably going to see Justice Hill slide in there or somebody else on third downs. But Gus Edwards would dominate on first and second down, and then he's going to get those red zone carries. So he is a stash, but he's also a guy in deeper leagues at 12 to 14 team leagues. If you're going to go like 0 RB and you need a guy that can get you, 6 to 8 points a game, maybe get you a touchdown, Gus Edwards is your guy. He 100% is. Like we said, he played 9 games last year, 87 carries, 433 yards, averaged 5 yards per carry, 3 rushing touchdowns, no receptions. Like I just said, he's not a pass-catching running back, but he is great on the ground. Gus Bus, he gets it done. Some running backs that are going around him, obviously he's basically undrafted, right? He goes late, or in deeper man leagues, he's towards the end of your rounds. You have CEH and Kareem Hunt, a guy that's on a team and a guy that's not right now, and basically they both aren't, because CEH is going to get in maybe 5% of each game, if that. That's what we think at least. So be careful drafting Dobbins this year just because of the contract. Hopefully, if your league's smart, you're not drafting until August, and I think they will have it done by then. I mean, they really should. They should have that contract on. They should sign this guy. It's a guy they need to take some pressure off Lamar here and there if the passing, is not working throughout the game. Dobbins is great for that. He's a great receiving running back, which is good for Lamar. Another option out of the backfield. But regardless, draft Gus Edwards at the end of your drafts. He's worth a spot. Do I know exactly how many, his percentage of snaps is going to be? No, I have no idea. Obviously, I don't know. But if he's out there getting 8 to 10 carries, or even 6 to 8 carries a game, and one of those is a red zone carry, that's solid. And like I said, this is a high-powered offense. Should be a lot of scoring this year. I expect them to get in the red zone a lot. That concludes today's video. Let me know if you're drafting J.K. Dobbins, you're kind of fading him, and if you think that Gus Edwards deserves a spot on your roster. Please like and subscribe. This was Gold Fleece Fantasy first video. See ya.